This is Radar from the Radar Editor blog coming to the Week 12 of the 2020-21 MLB offseason Hotstove edition recap. The Cubs started off the week with claiming infielder Sergio Alcantara off waiver. The Cubs will definitely need the infield depth with the fact that they're not sure who's going to play second base. There's these Chris Bryant rumors, so you're going to need somebody who could be a utility player in the infield, and Alcantara has done that. The Tigers DFA Travis Demeritte, so those wondering how the Tigers outfield is going to line up, it will not have Travis Demeritte in it, but it will have Robbie Grossman and Jacoby Jones, just to name some. The Braves have brought back Marcell Ozuna to a 4-year deal. There is no official word there's going to be DH this season, but it could come soon, so that may work out for them in going forward. But also, no Adam Duvall and no Nick Markakis. So adding his bat to play left field, and you kind of have a Kristen Pache, Inciarte center field combination, and of course Acuna in right field, not a bad outfield. Astros avoid arbitration with Correa. It's good for them. And the A's re-signed Mike Fier. Kind of being the guy who snitched on the Astros, and a lot of teams thought it's better to not tell on your teammates what's the code of conduct, that a lot of teams probably were not going to re-sign him or pick him up. So the A's said, we liked him. We need a guy in a full season now to eat innings, so it's not a bad move for back of the rotation. Aramis Garcia was traded along with Cash and Elvis Andrus to the A's, okay? And the A's traded Chris Davis, catcher Jonah Heim, and right-hand pitcher Jane Ackers. The first time in a while we've seen a major league player traded for another. Chris Davis used to be an all-star. Elvis Andrus used to be an all-star. But the Rangers decided, we got a bunch of young guys coming into the system. We don't necessarily need Andrus. He hasn't been a good hitter in a while, and his defense has gone down a bit. And the A's go Chris Davis, like the other Davis on the Orioles, hasn't hit. So let's get a shortstop because we don't have a shortstop because Simeon left in free agency. So it really helps out the A's that they get a guy who has been an all-star, who has played a Gold Glove level, and they get themselves basically some money in the deal, and it's basically a swap-up catcher. And the Rangers get another slugger. That doesn't really do much for them. The Mets signed Albert Almora Jr., and despite everybody saying Nimble's a horrible outfielder, I've seen him play really good defense in center field. And if there is not going to be a DH, Dominic Smith is going to be starting left field, so Almora will be a good defensive replacement. Angels avoid arbitration with Ohtani. That's good for them. And then Yoshihisa Hirano has gone back to Japan, to his original team. He's following the Tanaka mold where he goes, I'm not going to battle at this point because he's a reliever. Minor league deals to minor league deals. It's Tanaka. There were plenty of major league teams that wanted him, but he decided Hirano to go back to Japan. Reds have signed D. Gordon to a minor league deal. They got a gluttony of infielders. I don't really understand that, but hey, it's what they're going to do there. Pirates have signed Chasen Shreve to a minor league deal. If this man's healthy, he's a pretty good reliever, and the Pirates can flip him. Angels, after acquiring Dexter Fowler in a trade, have signed Juan Lagares to a minor league deal. I guess they want to make sure that if any outfielder goes down with injury, they're not stuck playing first baseman in the outfield, which they did last year. And Lagares won a Gold Glove, so that's always going to be helpful. The Rays picked up Hunter Strickland a minor league deal, and they're always good at reclamation projects and fixing pitchers, so he'll be a very good reliever for them because, again, if he makes a team, he's getting the minimum. It's not that much. Twins have signed Kean Broxton to a minor league deal, and with Byron Buxton never staying healthy, Eddie Rosario becoming a free agent, Robert Grossman leaving the team. Robert Grossman was on the A's last year. My bad. But yeah, the fact that they lost a few outfielders and they're not sure who's going to play left field, getting a guy who can play great defense, Kean Broxton, would be a good idea to fill in for Buxton if he gets injured. That's good. Brewers have picked up Jordan Zimmerman on a minor league deal. Their rotation is the reason why they're not a playoff team. They had a bad season last year. So Jordan Zimmerman hasn't been good in a while, but if he's healthy enough to be a fifth starter, that's better than nothing. So that's a good take a risk on him. Mets have signed Jonathan Villar to a deal, so they got Almora for defense in the outfield, and they got Jonathan Villar, who's a super utility player, can play infield and outfield. He used to be a top 10 stolen base leader when he was starting every day. And the Mets, they have Lindor, and they have Jeff McNeil, and they got J.D. Davis. But for now, getting a guy like VR to be a backup, being a backup for VR is when he's on a good team. He's on a bad team, and that's when he's going to start. Cardinals brought back Molina because we didn't think he was going anywhere anyway, so that's just official now. Tigers have brought in Greg Garcia on a minor league deal. They're not sure how their infield is going to line up as shortstop and third base, so might as well bring a utility player who can make the roster for the minimum. Braves have picked up Nate Jones on a minor league deal. The Braves are just trying to fix the bullpen because Mark Melancon became a free agent, Jared O'Day, so they're just trying to figure out how they're going to fit their bullpen pieces there. And if Nate Jones is healthy, he's a good 6th or 7th inning guy at this point. Astros have signed Steve Chittick to minor deal. He had a disastrous year with the White Sox last year. The hope is the Astros, if they're paying the minimum, that he could just be a 6th or 7th inning guy as they're trying to make the playoffs. Again, the Giants have signed Jake McGee to a 2-year deal. I'm surprised after the Rockies spent all that money on the guy and he hasn't always been the healthiest that the Giants did it. But hey, the Giants get reclamation project after reclamation project. So hopefully, with all the other pitchers they picked up, if he's healthy, that'll be good for their bullpen because they kind of need to revamp their bullpen. Mariners signed JT Chargos to minor league deal. He just was on the Dodgers last year, so he had some value. And the Mariners don't really have a bullpen, so they're just trying their best. Angels picked up Phil Gosselin on a minor league deal. There's no word how second base is going to line up. And Phil Gosselin's a very useful utility player, so it'll definitely help the Angels out there. The A's picked up Jed Lowry to minor league deal. And you'll be like, Jed Lowry originally, was on the Red Sox. Then he was on the A's. Then he went to the Astros. Then he went back to the A's. Then people were saying, well, how can he play shortstop? He's past the physical prime playing shortstop. He doesn't have the range anymore. He can't stay healthy. So he was on the A's twice. Then he went to the Mets, which was a waste of time. Now he's on a minor league deal. And the A's, as I told you, they did just trade for Elvis Andrus as shortstop, but they also lost Tommy La Stella, and they got rid of Franklin Barreto and Jarrett Profile the past couple of years, so they don't have a guaranteed second baseman. So maybe, just maybe, if he's healthy, Jed Lowry can help at second base, or he could DH and get some at-bats because now Chris Davis is traded. They have some at-bats open there. The Phillies have signed Matt Joyce to a minor league deal. I'm surprised that he got a minor league deal because when he played for Atlanta and Miami, he was pretty productive. He's the type of guy who, if he gets enough at-bats, can hit 20 home runs and drive in 70 at this point in his career, play corner outfield and maybe DH. And that's the thing. The Phillies already have Bryce Harper and Andrew McCutchen. They kind of need center field help, not corner outfield help, but hopefully he makes the team. If not, he can always opt out and go to a team that actually needs him. The Rangers DFA'd Adolis Garcia. I thought he would maybe be the center fielder of the team next year, but I guess with all the moves, there's no room for him on the roster. Phillies assigned Brandon Kinsler to minor deal, and this is the interesting about it. The Marlins offered him a major league deal. He said, I don't want to play for the Marlins. Us making the playoffs was a fluke. I don't want to be here. Probably with the COVID outbreak last year, so I feel like, signing with the Phillies may be better. And even though it's not a major league deal, only Archie Bradley is the only real reliever that the Phillies have signed recently. You're like, you know what? He's had some good success. All the other guys are all like reclamation projects. Kinsler, he'll definitely make the team and probably fight for some saves, so that will work out for him because he'll be on a better team. And if the Phillies are out of the race, they can always trade him as well. Tigers have picked up Renato Nunez. As I said, they're not sure how third base and first base is going to line up. And the dude, when he was in Baltimore, he could hit 20, 30 home runs and drive in 80 to 100, playing first base, third base, and DH. So the Tigers got some at-bats for him because they're not going anywhere. It's like the Orioles who weren't going anywhere. The Reds signed Brandon Shipley to a minor league deal. Organizational depth. Could spot start occasionally for them, or they could use him as a long reliever. Mets DFA Corey Oswalt. That just didn't really work out as him, so just moving on from him. Now the Royals, who are not going anywhere, who don't have a real center fielder, because that's why Whit Merrifield was playing center field, Hunter Dozier playing right field. Now they're happy that Alex Gordon retired, even though he still is a productive player, because that opens up an outfield spot. Because they want to put Dozier back in the infield. Now, signing Carlos Santana screws up their first base DH combination. But because of that, Soler's going to be in right field. The question is now, is Whit Merrifield going to go back to having to play center field, even though he's not a center fielder? Because Andrew Benintendi, also not a center fielder. But at least Benintendi is a natural-born outfielder, unlike Whit Merrifield, who's an infielder by trade. So that's why I don't understand them getting him. I thought a team that maybe needs a good left fielder or a corner outfielder would pick them up, but they're not. And the Red Sox, I don't know what they're thinking. They get Frenchie Cordero, who in San Diego, when he was healthy, he's a good center fielder, and he can bat leadoff for you. And the Red Sox, obviously, no Bradley Jr., no Mookie Betts. They were probably going to go Alex Verdugo in center field, but now they don't have to do that because you can put Hunter Renfroe in left field, and you could put Cordero in center and keep, Verdugo in right field. But then they got this pitcher named Josh Winishkowski, and they're going to get 3 players to be named later. And I'm just thinking to myself, hopefully those 3 players to be named later and this Josh Winishkowski dude actually help the Red Sox going forward, pitching depth, minor league depth, because I don't understand this trade. His value was low because he had down 2019 season and missed most of the 2020 season. So when his value is low, I thought, okay, let him play a full season, maybe his value get back up and maybe drop him at the deadline if you're out of the race and the team needs him. And then the Mets got themselves involved, and they get a young outfielder in Khalil Lee. So they felt like, you know what? We'll grab this young outfielder, and we don't want one of the guys that we're going to give in the trade. That's fine. Then you have the fact that the Rockies picked up Greg Bird, and I'm just like, okay, that's an interesting move. The dude hasn't been healthy in years. The Rangers didn't really use him last year when they had him, but he is from the Colorado area. So, and with Daniel Murphy retiring, there's no guaranteed at bats at first base, so he could always make the team that way. Now the Indians signed Ben Gamel to a minor league deal, with only Eddie Rosario guaranteed to play left field and maybe Oscar Machado playing center field. There could be some at bats, but Ben Gamel, as I've said a lot of times on these videos, he's a very useful piece, filling in center field, pinch running, pinch hitting. Like, he's a very good, valuable player. The Indians are going to get a bargain there. It's not a Gamel, it's a bargain. Hence the word name Ben Gamel. The Jays have signed David Phelps. They've had him multiple times. If the man is healthy, he's a very, very good setup man. They'll help them out in their postseason try to come back 2 years in a row. The Pirates have signed Brian Goodwin a minor league deal. With the fact that Alford got hurt when they got him last year, Polanco can't stay healthy, Reynolds had a disappointing season, and they're taking a shortstop in the outfield. And they might as well bring in a guy who has played center field and can play a good outfield defense in all three spots and pinch hit, so that worked out for them because he'll not cost a lot. The Pirates also signed Tony Walters to a minor league deal. Jacob Stalling was the starting catcher. He's a really good defensive catcher, but he's not the world's greatest hitter. And Tony Walters is a much better hitter, and he also had played other positions, so give him flexibility there for him to be the backup, which is not going to cost him a lot. Cubs have brought in Jake Marisnick on a one-year deal, so essentially the Mets got the Cubs center fielder from last year, and the Cubs got the Mets center fielder from last year. With Jake Marisnick signing, he'll probably get the most at-bats in center field, so Jock Peterson doesn't have to play center, he can play left, so that will help them out defensively. Died avoided arbitration with their number one pitcher, Walker Buehler. That's good. The Twins have picked up Kyle Garlick off waiver. He's bounced from team to team. So, at least with the Twins, where I told you where Byron Buxton can't stay healthy and they don't have really a left fielder, that Kyle Garlick can get some at-bats in left field and the occasional at-bats at first base or DH. Tigers have picked up Nomar Mazara. He had an injury, a year with injuries, a down year with the White Sox. Didn't really work out. The Sox non-tendered him. As I mentioned, Demerit being DFA'd earlier, it looks like that even though Mazara is not so amazingly out there, he probably has the opening track race on the right field job. He probably get the first crack at that this year between all the guys they have. So that may mean that the Victor Reyes and Mike Cameron's son Des Cameron will probably have to fight with Jacoby Jones for at bat in center field because they've already signed Robbie Grossman to a 2-year deal to play left field. So they're kind of stuck that way. Jays have DFA'd Derek Fisher. Somebody will pick him up because he's still under the age of 30. He's a center fielder by trade, and every team that's had him, Astros and Blue Jays, have never really given him a full opportunity to play. There has to be a team, I think it'd be like the Royals or some other team, where they don't have an everyday center fielder, and they just got to give this guy an opportunity to sink or swim, see if he can hit at the major league level consistently. The Mets, with all the moves they've been making, I don't know why they DFA'd Brad Brock. He was pretty much one of their better, more consistent relievers in the past couple of years they had him, but they decided to DFA him, which I don't get. Angels, as I said, have picked up Dexter Fowler, Juan Lagarde. They have now picked up John Jay in a minor league deal, and he's good as a backup outfielder. With the issues of Upton getting hurt last year, Adele missing some time, and even Mike Trout missing time, it'd be a very good idea to have guys like John Jay, Lagarde, and Fowler in case so you don't have to play first baseman in the outfield. The Mariners picked up Ken Giles in a 2-year deal. They now have actually a real closer on their team. He wasn't the most healthy the last year or two, so he'll build up his value. The Mariners aren't going anywhere at the deadline or even in the offseason next year. They could always flip him to a team for prospects. The Red Sox, after signing Kike Hernandez, the utility player, to get back to second base and the outfield, they brought in Marwin Gonzalez, who also can play everywhere. So they're going to probably move both those guys all around the diamond, and they'll be good because his best offensive year was when Alex Cora was his manager. Indians, as I said, they brought in Ben Gamel. They just brought in Billy Hamilton. Both of them can clearly play center field. Hamilton probably a lot better. Hamilton's probably a lot faster. But again, the Indians don't have 100% answers in center field and right field. So bring in these outfields on minor league deals. You know, somebody's going to make the team, somebody's not. The Rays have signed Colin McHugh. They had just brought back Chris Archer. You can't really place Blake Snell, but if you piece together if Chris Archer's anywhere near he was a couple years back with the fact that Colin McHugh, who didn't pitch last year, but when he has pitched before, can be a good starter and a good reliever, and the Rays do the combo pitching thing, opener thing, that it may work out to be a good move for them, and if not, they can always flip them. Mark Melancon has joined the Padres, so they're just making that bullpen better than it is right now by adding a guy who's been a closer that really, really helps them out. And today the Dodgers traded more relievers. They traded Dylan Flores to the Marlins for a prospect and a left-handed pitcher. They traded Adam Kolarek and an extra outfielder in their system for infielder Sheldon Neuse and a minor league player from the A's. So the Dodgers try to save money with some of the moves they made recently by getting rid of 2 of their extra relievers, getting some young players back in returns. Let's see how that goes. Blue Jays have re-signed Joe Panic to a minor league deal. They still have a gluttony and a clog of infielders, so I really highly doubt he's going to make the team right away unless there's injury. And Brock Holt was signed by the Rangers, who just traded Elvis Andrus. So they're no guaranteed on how their infield's lined up or even their outfield. So I feel like he's going to get an opportunity to play a lot. Thank you for listening to another edition of MLB Hotstove, week number 12 of the 2020-21 offseason. For On the Radar and Table Blog, I'm Radar. See you guys next time.